And we are live.
Oh, we're
Good
alive.
morning. Good morning. Let's wait a little bit.
Yes. Let me
We are
check.
so lucky to have you, Rushay, because I know you had load shedding.
I had a blackout. I don't know why we're being politically correct by saying load shedding. We're having blackout. South Africans just want to be different from the rest of Africa. We part of Africa,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. I think like it's your thing. You now have like
uh,
one thing and it's load shedding, and you guys are
uh,
known all over the world for it.
yeah, and what is so crazy is like 12 years ago, I went on an exchange to the US, and there was a gentleman from Sierra Leone. He was a popular singer, and he had a song about generators, and I didn't get what the big deal was about generators. So they've been dealing with power outages, due to corruption. And then it happened, like 12, 13 years later, and I'm like, okay, we are part of Africa, you know?
All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. I mean, good morning for me because I'm in Seattle. But hello, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of Creative Circle. Creative Circle is our conversation with creatives, and I'm Josiane Faubert. I'm the founder of Pitches Talk, and I'm delighted to have coming from South Africa, Rushay Booysen, a really talented photographer, hip hop lover as well.
Yes, totally.
And we will be chatting with us about generative AI and his process along the way. So, how are you, Rushay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really happy
You're
to see
great.
you. Thank you. Thank you for
You,
sharing everything you know about generative AI.
it's a new journey, and we all, we on the cusp of something new, something that's scary, something that we're all trying to figure out. And what I just thought is, I want to figure out what is this thing, and I can't fight it. What I can see is that I can't fight it, but I'm like, how am I part of it? I'm sitting in my artificial generated room. So
I love
so
it.
far
Beautiful.
it's been a pretty new journey, but it's been a lot of discovery, and coincidentally, like all my sales today on Adobe was AI images.
Wow. It's so funny because well, obviously, we still license regular images. We're still not at
Mm,
Pisha 100% into AI, but that's why we're
mm,
having this chat is to understand how it works for some creatives. But before we jump into your experience with it, let's try to describe it. So I went to ChatGPT, obviously, and type, how do you describe generative AI? So I'm just going to read it.
please do.
According to ChatGPT, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content such as text, images, music, and code. Generative AI models are trained on large data sets of existing content and then use that training to generate new content that is similar to the training data. So that's pretty much it. So we can see it today. Generative AI has been used to create text, to create new images, as you will show us, to create even music, which is crazy,
That's
and
scary.
code also. I think it's even more crazy, like the code part of it for software application or web applications. So tell us, Rushay, what made you jump
Mhm.
into this new technology?
I think I've always been, coming firstly from a hip hop background. Like hip hop was always at the forefront of technological advances. We've always been, whether it was wearing beepers back in the days or promoting music, via sending MP3s, to promote your stuff. Like, so
Yeah.
hip hop was always at the cusp of technology. And I've always been like a tech geek per se. And I want to know what's happening because the world is constantly changing. And if we do not keep abreast of changes, we get left behind. And unfortunately, the world is moving so fast, so we have to be on the edge constantly. But I've had my doubts, because when you come from a creative space, we like we want to create, right? We want to know the ownership of it. Like, I created something, So people went to school to study to be graphic designers, to know how to do work with Photoshop. And now this new technology comes and you just use text prompts and it creates works, which I still don't completely consider like creatively, as a creative person. I don't see it as like you did not create the text that you prompted, and it obviously feeds off existing work, which is kind of like a gray area for us all.
Yeah.
But I wanted to understand it, and I wanted to try it. And I think when you come from the stock world, we're also looking at monetary returns, for our efforts. And I think that's important for us to seek, extra streams of revenue,
I agree. Yeah. I feel like that's also the mindset that we have also as creative. Like we've always knew that as part of creative, you always have to seek new forms of revenues, other forms of revenues, and then explore, change, and adapt. I guess adaptation is the right word. So what's your process like when you decided, okay, you want to be part of it, you want to try it? Like, how did you get into it? Like, how did you even select the platform, and did you research it, or?
Yeah, a lot of researching, a lot of YouTube videos. I think YouTube is like school,
Yes, I agree.
everyone should just be on YouTube, and just whatever interest you have, you'll find any content out there. So obviously I was interested in the process, how to start, because it's easy. It's just texting prompt, using text, to create an idea and imagine. So I started with Midjourney. I've messed around with Leonardo, and I tried all these other ones, but I really was like, okay, let me go for the most commercial one. That's one of the ones at the forefront of the technology. And I played around, bought a subscription, the cheapest one, because I just wanted to see what it's about. So the cheapest
Because
one's
what's
about
the
10.
difference between the free and the subscription? Why do you need
Yes. But I know that they also discontinued, so you can't use work that was created on the free platform or free credits. You can't sell it as creative work.
Okay.
So Midjourney actually declined you the opportunity to sell it. So I wanted to try it out. I wanted the fast minute, so I started messing around, creating images, and then there was obviously the question of like the file sizes were too small. So now we need to look at upscaling, and started looking at upscalers and thinking like, do I want to spend money on something, So I tried free stuff. I was like, I think free comes with its own limitations, And I actually settled with I settled with Topaz, because I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy the software. It's $100, and it basically, the work that it does is amazing. I actually took a lot of my old family photos that was really small in file size, and I upscaled them, and the quality is like immaculate.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. Yes, especially for
Yes,
old family stuff. Yeah.
yes. So on the day where I was like, do I spend this $100? Because I was like, I might never receive my return on this $100 that I'm spending now for this software. But on the exact day that I spent $100, I got a editorial clip sale for $150. So I was like, okay, it was probably meant to be, because I got my money back in like some video that I sold online,
Yeah.
But I think in starting a business and running a business, there's always expenses and investment that needs to go into equipment, etc., like photographers would know. So I think to grow any business, you need to invest in something. And business is about taking risk. And the stock industry is about, volumes, taking risk, spending a lot of time, and creating the content,
So you've been using Midjourney. You've managed to find a way to upscale it,
Yes.
and then use the subscription. And you said the subscription allows you to license the work for commercial purpose, or just license?
Yes. Yeah, so it allows you to license the work that you created with Midjourney. It is
Okay.
considered yours.
And then in terms of copyright, because I feel like in the US, generative images can't be copyrighted as of today, 20th of September. So if you're going to license it, how do you license it? Do you license it under Rushay Booysen, or
Yes, I license it. I license it. So Adobe was at the forefront of actually accepting generative AI work. You know, they've been the first. I know 1, 2, 3 RF followed, and there's I'm not sure the deposit photos, but there's a few that followed, and obviously there's still a whole legal battle that's happening. You know, because there's a lot of questions around copyrights about artists work that's been used to create new work, you know, and how do the artists benefit? I mean, recently there was a royalty payout from Adobe for the usage of data that they use from people's works, which we obviously did not buy into, because when we signed up for Adobe, there was no generative AI works, you know, and they just
exactly.
yes, you know. So there's obviously that fight that is still happening, but I feel like while they're still allowing the platform to license those work, you know, I just want to be providing content, you know. And I can say that, so there's obviously the concern is like, what happens with traditional images, you know, like, do we get wiped out? Will AI just take over everything and we not used anywhere in this space of, you know, this creative space and the royalty space itself? And should we receive reoccurring royalties for our work that was licensed, you know? That is all questions that is still very much in a gray area, which I feel when you go to Europe is going to be a whole new fight altogether, because Europe is so stringent with copyrights and privacy.
Data privacy and all of that. And I think they're right to do that. I feel like we should just take a step back and not hurry too much with all of these until we understand it better. I feel like some company have tried to capitalize on it too fast, too quickly. Because there's still a lot of things that are unclear and said and not understood. So but yeah, I completely agree that, you know, I feel like it's the future. It's going to make marketing so easy for those people working for brands, corporation, and on. So they will have to use it. I feel like they can't say no to it, because it will make their work easy. But going back to content, generative content, do you see what is there a difference of what you produced with your DSLR and what you produce with the AI tools? Is there a difference, or you're trying to do something different or replicate what is existing already?
I won't say replicate. So firstly, one of the main reasons also why I wanted to jump on Gen AI is that I want, because I'm always concerned about where will Africa be within this space, right? Do we get left behind? Do we get used? So even if you go on, you try and create like, say, kente cloth backgrounds, it doesn't look genuine, you know? So because there's also not a lot of content for them to teach their machines, you know? So I really wanted to be like, okay, where does Africa fit in this? And where does imagery representing us, where do we fit into this whole new world that's being opened, you know? So like for me, it wasn't really about copying other works, because I very much go into studying what is popular trends, because obviously your buyers, the trends are based on what the buyers want. And then it's easier to create the work that the buyers are looking for, whether it's seasonal or whether it's, you know, the new trends of diversity and LGBTI, et cetera, et cetera. So I really saw this as a tool that could help me in terms of placement of my images. So like one of my images that I created, the first day I created this AI image, it actually sold 3 times. and it's right now it's on the first page of Adobe search for like beautiful black colorful headscarf, using those keywords. So it was also about getting a head start in the algorithm, in the SEO of because as much as it is about texting prompts, it's also about us prompting those keywords that might not be found in those spaces, like those Western spaces, like kente cloth or things that is very specific to Africa. Those things will not be within their keywording, etc., etc. So it needs placement within, this technology itself. So I was really thinking in terms of those lines of placement, also placement for us. Like, how do we as creators on the continent get our voices? And I mean, I believe David O's album cover was created with AI.
Okay.
So I mean, and as you know, African people are very onto technology because whether it's cell phones or whatever means, because it used to be such a luxury for us to be able to afford, communication at a very cheap cost.
That's so true.
So that was really a lot of my thinking around being absorbed into this new, means of technology that's coming forth.
Okay. So why don't we do that? I want to go over some of the images you've created.
Okay.
And so I'm going to add a screen here so that everyone can see.
So you tell me if it shows on your side, and I will
showing.
Okay.
So Rush is going to show us some of the images he's been able to create.
Okay. So also since I'm not an illustrator, I really use the opportunity to create illustrations because I love illustrations, And so obviously Midjourney helps you with that, creates illustrations, creates what it can create is endless, It's obviously what your thought, and there's all these YouTube videos around prompting, which I feel is excessive. People are creating like whole YouTube videos on how to prompt so that your work stands out to create. At the end of the day, I don't completely see it as my work. I might drive a lot of, it, but it's a computer that's creating something off, text or whatever.
The way you describe it looks a lot more like copy and pasting.
Yeah. Totally. Let me get a few more, then I'll blow it up big. Sold for me. So I've been really about, like, in terms of diversity, creating different diverse, Middle Eastern, Arab, Indian mom with a kid in front of a laptop. I've just been creating a lot of diverse images because I feel that's
so your
really
screen is really tiny. We don't. Okay.
No, I'm making it big now.
Perfect. Okay.
So
tell me when that's a great one. Wow. So tell us, like, what did you write here? Like, what was the text that you added?
Yeah, I was just imagine black woman with boxing gloves, confident, looking straight at camera in a dimly lit room.
Oh wow. Okay, but you didn't add description about the hair.
Yeah, I did say hey, curly hair.
Curly natural hair. Okay.
Yes, yeah. And then obviously you do the aspect ratio as well in terms of the sizing, aspect ratio 3.2. How do you want the ratio to come out?
Okay, that's beautiful.
So yeah. Let me see. Okay, this thing doesn't work in the order that it's supposed to. But let's see quickly. Yes,
and
weird.
I see we have people joining us. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to send us a comment with a question if you have one. That's really artistic.
Yeah. So I was really trying to play around with flowers and hair and portrait style. The upscale work of Topaz is amazing. This thing you can actually, so if you like really want to I guess some people will consider it, especially Gen Zs will be like, oh, this is my work, But if you really want to blow it up big, it literally, once you've upscaled it, you can blow this thing up huge,
So what did you type here? Did you specifically wanted a woman that was looking on the side? Did you specifically wanted flowers?
Yeah. So you add those prompts in, Word. You'll say real person, or if you wanted to create an illustration, you'll say illustration. And with flowers, and it just creates based on whatever aspects you place. So if you say looking to the right, looking to the left, it creates the images based on those prompts.
And then even the sheer dress, that was even something you wanted.
Yes, it was.
You see, you're now a designer now.
Yes, we do. Let me see some more I created. So yeah, also a lot of backgrounds that I played with, because I feel backgrounds are such important.
Background are really, to me, it's really a challenge for me to work on backgrounds. But some people are really gifted with making amazing backgrounds.
Yeah. Okay, so it creates a set of 4 images on your prompts, and then you can choose which ones you like. And then you can also specify if you want to refine the changes more. So if the image comes out and there's something else you would like added, you can just kind of like go in on Midjourney and just add whatever text you want to add, and it will bring about changes based on that.
So for the big scarf, you just say like a big scarf?
Yeah, I just said headscarf, African woman, headscarf against bright colored wall. Looking straight at camera.
Okay.
Let me see what else. So I'm trying to get the one. So like, this one is like woman working in caravan, laptop, curly hair. So yeah. So do you see the logo there?
Yeah.
Okay. So that seems to be a very it seems to be happening a lot, where it's creating the Apple logo on, and obviously I had to go out and then Photoshop out the Apple logo.
Okay, but can you specify it on your prompt?
So I don't know why. So there's probably somewhere in the learning where they still have to reconfigure this, because a lot of times when you type, person working on laptop, and then it throws out a person with an Apple laptop. So I think, and then some people actually on the forums that I'm on, some people have specified that how the editors are actually not seeing these logos and allowing these images to go through, which is obviously copyright infringements.
Exactly. Just 1 second. We have a couple of questions here. Lana, Hi Lana, I hope you're well. Great to see you here. Lana is asking, do you sell generative AI images for the same as you would photographs?
I mean, when you send it to Adobe, it goes into, so Adobe is one of the biggest entities that accept these images, and they're one of the best sellers when it comes to, so obviously they have the tick boxes where you specify that it's generative AI and that it's fictional. So they've placed these boxes to actually inform people that it's not real images, but it goes into the normal pool of normal images, but it does have a specific it is specified that it's Gen AI images.
Okay. And then in terms of pricing, the commission that you get, is it the same or is it lower?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as normal. So yes, it's the same. Yes.
And then for Kat, for your question, yes, thank you, Emmanuel. The software Rushay is using for upscaling images is called Topaz. That's a gorgeous one.
Yes. And let me see what else. I've created probably like 1,000 already, and people
when you create 1,000, it's within what, an hour? Less than an hour?
No. So it takes some time. So I do it over. I normally do it weekends. So my workflow has gone from like, okay, I do Gen AI images weekends, and other times I shoot more video stuff. So because I think it's also important to diversify one's portfolio
Mm-hmm.
and have a mixture of different mediums, because I really feel video still has like a lot of good royalties within it, since it's not overpopulated like images itself, which
Yeah,
is
but I
obviously
still feel like images. I feel like not everybody wants like perfect images like that.
Yes, absolutely.
They're really striking. They're really beautiful. But I feel like depending of the context, the brand, the corporation, I feel like it's not yet for everybody.
Everyone, yes.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's important to have a diverse portfolio.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
like I say, I mix it with traditional images, videos, AI. Just have a portfolio with a very diverse,
Exactly.
medium.
Put your
Within it.
eggs in different baskets.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because we don't know where this is heading. I
Hmm.
don't see us going back. In the forums, I see a lot of people fighting and a lot of people like, yes, I don't know if you know about the issue with the hands, where a lot of they either
Yes.
have
Yes.
they either have extra hands
But
or
it's going
it's
to
deformed.
improve. It's gonna get better.
Yeah,
So.
it's just gonna get better, so we can't fight it.
Mm.
What our fight should be about being inclusive within this new medium with big tech, because
Yeah.
big tech is running with us, and we can't let them just have the pie to themselves. We have to be
Mm.
part of it.
She looks really natural, like her skin and everything.
Yes.
Mm.
So you can put in those prompts as to real photo and wrinkled skills. The one that's a bit too blown up, that looks too perfect,
Mhm.
but there's a person that wants it. That's why you have to create not just what you like or where your
Yeah.
head is based. You have to think about the buyer. The buyers, like, people are like debating in the forums about uh Gen AI images, but it's like, if the buyer wants it, the buyer's gonna take it.
This one also looks really natural.
mm, mm.
Mm. So for the natural setting, you just say look real, or
Yeah, real photos. You can also play around with the skin. You can, like, play around. I think light also plays a big. You can say whatever light background you want.
Mhm.
So it's all within the prompting, and then if the prompt does not give you exactly what you want, you just refine the prompt and change it a bit.
Okay. So you will say for you the benefit of using generative AI is to obviously jump with a new technology, diversify your portfolio. Do you
hmm
see any other benefit?
Uh, Look, AI is a buzzword everywhere, whether
Yeah.
it's ChatGPT. Like, now they're talking about videos, and I don't know what videos would like. Would it be like animation, etc., etc.? But
So
it's
yeah, for video, I've watched this week. It was in a French documentary that was showing that in China, it was showing
mm-hmm,
this influencer who's the face of her brand, and she actually created an avatar that looks like her, but it's a generated. Yeah, it's an AI real
creation.
avatar
Uh-huh,
that she
uh-huh,
uses to sell. So she will be doing live shows on TikTok, and
uh-huh.
it will be her avatar actually doing the show on TikTok.
Oh,
And you
that's
will think
wild.
that it's her, and but she will be behind her screen answering questions from her customers. And I was like,
That's
okay,
crazy.
I have never seen that. This is like crazy.
That
And it was
is
funny
that
because you could
is.
see her sitting, and then her screen was live, and you could see like it looked like she was speaking on TikTok, but she was just sitting next to her screen. And I was like, wow, okay, that's another level I had never seen
Mm, mm,
before. So I
mm,
guess, yeah, there's already probably different ways of how the technology will move with videos.
mm, mm. Okay, let me stop sharing this thing. So what? Tell me what's your feel on AI and how.
My feel is just like you. It's something that we cannot reject. It's already here. It will make the life of people so easy that they
Mm,
will want to embrace it, and you can't
mm,
refuse that. I mean, if you think about even just Chat GPT, how to write, I've been using it for our email mailers, and
mm,
it's saving me so much time that you can only see the benefit. Obviously, yes,
mm,
for us, with diverse communities, people who don't have their history written off on
mm,
papers, who
mhm,
rely on spoken history and all of that.
mm,
I feel like we will be left behind, because
mm,
if the world continue to use AI as main tools for everything, I think our
mm,
history will be gone. Like,
mm.
there will be no trace of my tribe, the Miene people, unless somebody
Mm.
writes like 10,000 books on it.
Mm,
But like everything that is not written and recorded somewhere,
mm,
where ChatGPT can get it, where AI can get it and
mm,
access it,
mm,
I think it will be just like gone, and nobody will
mm,
ever know about it unless you go to museums, or you buy a book and you read a
mm.
book. Uh, but yeah, I feel like for us, there's definitely a challenge of visibility. How do we exist? A lot of stuff don't have English words in our
Mm,
communities. So how
mm,
do you still represent them if you have to prompt words to
mm,
describe
mm.
them, when you use your local language to call something?
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, those things scare me, because I feel like we've been always challenged to exist, and I feel like with AI, it will be even a greater challenge to exist and remain who
Mm,
we are.
mm,
So that's my big thing of it. That's also why we're taking a step back and trying to, at Pisha, we're just looking at it, seeing where we're going. There's
mm,
also issues about privacy and data. I feel
mm,
like in Africa, we still have a lot of, when you think about politics, we still have a lot of dictatorships.
mm,
So that's something I'm watching also with AI. What does it mean for our data, our people? Like,
mm,
if you
mm,
train someone, can somebody, all these things, you
mm,
think about it, we're not in the same place as the US or Europe,
mm.
where they have laws and
Uh-huh.
everything.
Mm,
Like in Africa, every country is different, every country
mm,
operate
mm,
differently. So yeah, I don't know, honestly, but I agree
mm,
that we should pay attention, understand it,
mm.
and be part of it somehow.
Yeah, sure. So the concern, so I think some of the concerns is like, will they still need graphic designers? Will, all these different jobs that gets affected by this new technologies that's coming out, and
So
would
to me,
companies,
like,
because.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I feel like
Mm,
even when Canva came in on board,
mm,
um, yeah, many graphic designers were really upset about it. They will say, "Yo, you're not a designer if you
the
use
real.
Canva." But honestly, everybody uses Canva because they made it so easy. Um,
Mm,
so that's the reality. But I feel like the really good designers do
mm,
still have jobs.
mm,
They're still working for some brands. They create stuff for brands. They still have an opportunity to align their vision, their creativity with specific project, which I think is hard. I, like prompt, you can prompt something, but if you don't have like a background
mm, mm,
to create the right prompt, I think you'll be spending too much time trying to do that. So obviously,
mm.
maybe having designers helping prompting
Sure.
will help also companies. So I think like it's just like a realignment of
Mm.
a job spec, and even for us photographers, we definitely need to sit down and think about what can we bring to the table to corporations or to brands in the era of AI? Is it prompting, helping them with the right prompts? Is it helping them conceive maybe their data set, and then you get paid to do that? I don't know, but I feel like there's still a place that's different, but there's still a place. And I think also those training platform, they will still need images to train their they will continuously need images to train their data, to train their technology. So it would probably be different. Maybe we won't have to shoot with more expensive camera, because I don't think that you need really expensive images to train data, but you can use your phone and then maybe be paid. They can be like, okay, we want 10,000 images of people in Ghana, and then you do that with your phone. I mean, I don't know if they will need release forms. I don't know anything about it. I feel like there's definitely an opportunity, and maybe we can create some opportunity by talking to those platforms also, understanding their needs, and see where they want to go.
No, I agree with you, because one of my thoughts was like, so why would I? And I love photography. I'll always have a camera and always buy a camera. But it's like, why would I really need a camera then if I can create? When you're thinking about creating stock content, right?
Yeah.
It's like, do I need to pay $5,000 for that camera when I can just pay a subscription and create and make money, royalty income stream? But I think because even Adobe workers were concerned about where AI is heading and how it will affect their jobs. And remember, these were the people that created Photoshop, and Photoshop was a new technology that came when digital cameras came about, so there's always a concern, but it seemed there's always somewhere else an opportunity. And it's for us to, like you say, realign ourselves within, how the landscape is changing, and being aware of these changes, but also forming a unified, like what I like about these online forums, communities, is that we don't think about just like our own location. We think about our global spaces, and because we all part and we find our community, so how do we collectively across the world unite and take on and say, hey, you can't exclude us because you used us,
Yeah, and definitely that's why we need to talk about it also, about and I'm glad that you were able to show us some of the imagery you were able to produce. They are really beautiful Black people, relatable people. Because my experience, especially on Pisha with AI, was with keywording, and keywording was completely biased. When we had the AI keywording system, they will always associate Black women with attractiveness and being sexy. Black women with short hair, they will always tag them as male or children. So it was completely wrong, and we had to go back and actually hire people to do manual keywording. So I have a team of manual keyworders in the era of AI because of biases. And it was actually giving us too much work because we had to delete some keywords. It wasn't accurate for our communities. So we are the voices of our community. So it's our role and place, to try to stand up for our people. And make sure that we are included in everything, whether we like it or not. It's always disturbing. New technologies are always disturbing. It's just like Photoshop. It's like phone cameras. It's like we always have something to disturb. I'm gone. Okay. We always have something that disturbs our creative process, that challenges us. But we just have to be aware of that.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Let me see. I had like a few questions.
Right.
So we talked a little bit about, we touched on copyrights. We talked about the benefits and the challenges. Anything you want to say about generative AI, and any other questions here that you guys have?
So I think for now is just people should just try it out. I feel like there's a bit of a gold rush happening at Adobe, you know, but I know review times have gone up. It went from 14 days to a month, and now I think it's heading towards 3 months.
Oh,
The
wow.
reviewed, yes, you know. So a lot of, and I also see guys, big sellers, like guys that sold over 300, that's got over 300,000 downloads on Adobe. They like creating AI images as well. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you know, when people that's been making good money, when they are also using these platforms, like we should not shy away and be scared to be, you know, or to use these platforms as to inform ourselves of the tools and the role that we play in shaping, you know, what the outcome, because we, for example, we represent a particular space that is not well represented even in terms of copyrights, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that those are all questions we have to ask ourselves, like how do we become protective of things that belongs to us, you know. So
Yeah.
by shying away from us, we're not actually really challenging these companies that comes with the $1 billion or whatever, that's got all the lawyers to take us on, etc., etc. You know,
Mm.
so it starts from what do they call we got to be the Trojan horse, you know,
Yeah.
be that Trojan horse, you know, because
Yeah.
that's the only way you're gonna learn and actually shape, you know, things the way we want it to be.
Mm-hmm. Lana is asking, how many images do you think you need in a Gen AI portfolio to start seeing returns in general? I don't think you need much.
Yeah, I think I see new guys that signed up on Adobe, and they I can see their new portfolios because they just have Gen AI images, and they have like already 1,000 downloads. They get the feature on Adobe because they reached 1,000 downloads, and it's fairly new portfolios with probably not even more than 1,000 images up.
Yeah.
But
And what I
obviously,
want
so I wanted to say, obviously, it also depends on like how constantly you upload, because all of that influences your placement within the algorithm, you know, and obviously keywording and all of those things.
Yeah, and just like any stock, understand the market. So do your
Mm-hmm.
research and see, who are the buyers or the licensors of
Mm-hmm.
this type of content, so that you can create stuff that people will want to license. Make sure that you read the terms and condition in the platform where you create that content. I think every platform is different. I think not everybody um, I think, as you said earlier, Rushay, not everybody allow you to license it commercially. So it's possible that you create it in one place and you're actually not supposed to go to another place and license it as
Mm-hmm.
stock. So I feel like be really careful about the terms and conditions everywhere you sign up to try to license this type of content. And then David has another question about, are there any deliberate programs or initiatives from anyone to help train AI to recognize our local language or even items that we cannot represent in English? Just thinking out loud. Yes, I've been
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it. We've been approached, obviously, to sell our data, but again, it's about the terms and conditions. Some of the platforms who want to acquire some of our data, um, they actually want to own it once they buy it, and I'm like, okay, no. um,
No.
so, it's all about the terms and conditions. So there must be one place, we're still looking, talking, investigate. Everybody's greedy. Everybody, the future is about data. Everybody wants to own data. And I don't like when you want to partner with someone and they want to own your data. Like, I don't own on Pisha. Rushay is a contributor. I don't own his data. Like, he's a contributor. The day he wants to take his content out, he takes his content out. And then when we license it under his name. So I feel like that's our mission on Pisha. We try to always stand up for contributors and creatives. Some other platforms are really not like that. That's why I like always read the terms and conditions and agreements if you have that, because a lot of them just want to take your data and then that's it. And we need to keep our data because that's where the money is also. Yeah. So something also that we can done is, coming together strongly as a community. That's always good. Trying to advocate for our own rights. That's always good. Yeah. So at Pisha, we're very slow about generative AI, but we surely we are watching it and really looking into it as well, and try to look for the right partners eventually. Thank you so much, Rushay. It was really nice to have you. Really amazing content. Great job. And I'm pretty sure you've given a lot of tips to many of us here. If you have any other questions, you guys can join. I'm pretty sure you can reach out to Rushay. What's your hashtag again on Instagram?
Just my name.
Rushay Booysen? Okay.
You can only Rushay. Only Rushay.
Only Rushay. Okay. Rushay on Instagram. He's really accessible. And if you have any hip hop singers to recommend to him, he's always looking for new people to listen to.
Sure. But thank you for having me, and thank you for keeping the platform alive and informative and creating community, because that's ultimately what it's about, right?
Yes,
it's about having. That's the only way you stay informed about things, because when you're on your own little island, you don't hear what's going on.
It's always tough. Yes, yeah, and then you hear so many misinformation. Like, so it's great to be part, obviously, of the community and then talk about these things. Yeah, and I know that, you look left, it's AI. You look right, it's AI. Everybody talks about AI. So I know it's a topic that everybody is trying to get a better understanding of. That's a really important topic. But thank you so much. Thank you all for coming and joining. Thank you, Rushay.
Thank you, Joe.
Soon. Yeah.
Likewise. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.